everybody, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Amy. I go by Fiber Arts Amy here and on Instagram. Welcome to my Flosstube. It's been a while. Life has been busy. That seems to be happening a lot lately. But I'm back. I definitely am not going to be able to show you everything that I've worked on today because I don't even know everything I've worked on. I keep track of what I work on in my book of days. But quite honestly, I wasn't willing to go down to the basement where last year's book of days was to find, this just came off a project, to find my dogs here. Come here, come. You're not gonna be able to jump up that way. Anyway, I wasn't willing to go down to find the old book of days to look everything up. But I have a lot to show you, especially a lot of Chatelaines today. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Can you get behind me? Can you get behind me? Freya, go up here. I know this is weird. Usually there's room for you on the chair. You guys don't mind, right? Freya, lay down. Goober, lay down up there. Okay. I'm going to take you through a lot of what I've worked on. My stitching has been... My stitching has been in a bit of a rut. I actually feel it coming back. Life has just been so busy since I got home from Queen City Stitch Retreat. There's been a lot going on, just family, kids. I started Oak Crown Studios. For those of you who aren't familiar, I started selling hand-dyed fabric. I will link that below for anyone who's interested, but I don't want to spend the whole video just trying to sell you guys something. So I've been busy and I've been stitching some, but felt like I was in a little bit of a slump. But then in January, I started hosting Zooms for Chatelaine Wednesday. And it's the first Wednesday of every month. I send out a Zoom link. And it's from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm loving it. I've found that so inspiring and really motivating. So I've been on this like huge Chatelaine kick the last, month and a half. I should say today is like, what, February 23rd, 2024 that I'm filming this. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting my groove back. I have been spending a good bit of time here in the last couple of weeks doing more organizing, just trying to get things, because you guys know I have hundreds of whips. Or if you've seen me here before, you know. I'm trying to get things more organized so that I kind of have like more separate like workspace, crafting space, and it's just I'm not spending as much time shuffling around and finding things. Trying to fit Oak Crown Studios into my not super big house that's also full of 4 other people and a dog and, life. Has been a bit of a challenge. I mean, we're making it work, but if I can get more organized, I think that's going to help those transitions and helping me be able to get more crafting. Anyway, I'll stop babbling and start showing you stitching. So you guys, again, if you've been around, you know that I stitch a lot of really big things like Chatelaines, Mirabellas, Teresa Wenslers. Those are kind of my favorites. But I also do love a small. I need a small palette cleanser sometimes, and especially when I'm like busy and I'm working and there's a lot going on. I like being able to pick up a small stitch is sometimes all I feel capable of. And I love, if I'm gonna do a small, I love it being a functional object, like doing a pincushion or a needle roll or something like that. I like that. I don't see myself framing a lot of like smaller things. Anyway, if you've seen me before, you might know I'm kind of obsessed with these bags. So the bags are made by It's So Emma, I believe. Yes, it has an It's So Emma tag on it, which is like basically part of Fat Quarter Shop. It's one of their companies that produces things. So the bag itself is made by them. So the bag is mesh. And it's not perfectly square. It's actually in a rectangular mesh. But the bags are carried by a lot of LNSs if you're looking for them, and then also definitely Fat Quarter Shop. And then the pattern is from Shepherd's Bush. And this one says winter. I've done several of these bags. Some people keep their stitching stuff in them. I keep some stitching stuff in them. I have one that I keep a bunch of embroidery in. I can show you because it's right here. Oop. I almost knocked over my chatelaine. So this was one of the earliest ones that I did. It says stitch. I love this. It's the same kind of idea. You're stitching on it with number 5 pearl cotton mostly. I put my embroidery, because I don't do a lot of embroidery, but I have some. So I put the embroidery that I'm working on in this. And then I also use them a lot for English paper piecing and quilting projects. So anyway, that's what I'll do with this. I just finished this a couple days ago. They're just fun. They're just a fun, like, quick and easy stitch. They've got little buttons. I put them on with sewing thread. It's just, I don't know, really satisfying. To me, it's a really satisfying, simple project. The thing I've been working on most, and that my needle minder came off of, because all my projects are just, like, piled up next to me, is Nora Corbett's Rogue Dragon. So I know a lot of you, if you've seen me before, you know this, but I'm going to say it for anyone who may be new and doesn't know. So Nora Corbett's the designer behind Mirabilia. She also has a Nora Corbett line. I adore her. The reason why Maggie Kitschy Whips and I started the Queen City Stitch Retreat, and I guess I'll link that below too. The reason we started the Queen City Stitch Retreat is because we just wanted to meet Nora. So we held a retreat and invited her so that we could meet her. Anyway, she has also has a Patreon. And on the Patreon, the patterns are up for, like, you know, limited amount of time, just like all designers do, and then they come down. So this pattern itself is not currently available because it's the first one that she did for her Patreon. But this is a Nora Corbett, and it is called Rogue Dragon, and I love it. And I have been enjoying stitching it so much, and I have been flying on it lately. It fits in the 11 by 17 Q-snap, but I don't like stitching at the top. Like if I'm holding this against myself, I don't like having to stitch that far away from me up there. So I had this in an 11 by 11, and I finished everything on, like, the top half from, like, well, I guess from there up, and also most of that. Before I moved it to the 11 by 17, just so I wouldn't have to reach so far to, like, do the beading and stuff at the top. But look at how awesome this dragon is. This fabric is Oak Crown Studios fabric, Swirling Tide, that was dyed by me. I love this dragon, and it's a lot like stitching on it, so I still have to do, there's all this, like, tail that comes down and kind of loops around and out, but all the, like, so it's a lot like stitching a Mirabilia. So all this stuff up here is much more like confetti, right? Kind of like doing the face and the hair and the bodice maybe of a fairy or a fancy lady. And then the wings are more like the dress, and same thing with, like, the tail. So this is all moving pretty quickly. And there's more beads to put in, some, like, deep dark purpley beads. I'm just really enjoying it. She's a really fun stitch. And again, it's Clay by Kim needle minder. I don't really get those anymore, but I definitely went through a long Clay by Kim phase where I was collecting a lot of them. So yeah, she's been occupying, I've been as monogamous as I ever get stitching on Rogue Dragon lately. Not sure the best place to put all these. I'm gonna have a lot of cleanup to do later. So another thing that I'm doing coming up is I'm gonna be going to the Stitch North retreat at the end of April. I want to say that's the second weekend. It's like April 26th to the 28th, I think. And I want to do the smalls exchange. So I'm going to show you, because even if you're going, you're not going to know which small is mine, right? So I'm going to show you. I'm doing this is from a Heartstring Samplery pattern. I actually dyed, this is for our 20 count Ada. I actually dyed it. So this is one of the fabrics that I dyed. That's it's a natural linen. It's a natural linen Aida, and I dyed it just very lightly with some green. So it's kind of coming through there. I like how it looks. It's just got like a bit of green to it. I'm thinking about adding it to my shop. Let me know if you want me to add it to my shop with just like a hint of color to it. I kind of like it. Anyway, this is a heartstring samplery pattern. I only have the pattern, so I can't show it to you, but it's just a basket of flowers, like very traditional. I have, you know, this part finished. There's some flowers up here and a basket. Now on the bottom, it's supposed to say love makes everything better. Like there's supposed to be a big part of it. I'm not doing that part. I'm just doing the basket of flowers. And I just have the black and white chart printed out. I bought the pattern, I'm assuming it was a paid pattern. I bought the pattern, I have the PDF, and I have a ton of these Stitch Me silks. I used to be in her club. I loved her club. I just have a lot. So anyway, I went to her, I went to my stash. Everything's all tangled. I went to my stash of these Stitch Me silks, and something's tangled. Oh, it's caught on a crown. Okay. I just picked out a palette that I wanted to work of the silks that I had. So one of the flowers I'm doing in these two blues, or did in those two blues because it's all done. That middle flower, just slightly different blue. It's a bit sort of brighter. That I'm doing these outside flowers in. And then I'm going to have kind of an orange flower there in between. And then I'm doing the basket in like burgundy with like a cream highlights on it. So that's what my Stitch North small is going to be. It's going to be a little pin pillow, and I'm sure I'll throw some other little goodies in there for whoever gets my package. But yeah, that's another thing I need to get done. It's only 2 months away. It seems like it's a while, but I'm not a fast stitcher, and especially lately, you know, haven't had a ton of stitching time, and I don't want to get behind and then find at the last minute, oh my gosh, I don't have time to finish it. The smalls exchange is optional. I certainly don't have to do it, but I really want to do it. I did it last year and I enjoyed it, and I did it at Queen City Stitch Retreat and enjoyed it. Anyway, that's kind of a priority because I do need to get that done. So I also picked up this other project. I'm a mess. There went all the floss. Got most of it back. I started this ages ago, but I haven't touched it in a long time, and it's for my son. And I really want to finish it for him, so I need to get on that. This is from Lizzie Kate. Is it called Promise Me? It is. It's called Promise Me, and I love it. It says, promise me you'll always remember you're braver than you believe and stronger than you seem and smarter than you think. And my middle child is just somebody who I think will truly benefit from having this in his life and hanging in his room. So I picked this up the other night and got to work on it. So I actually got a lot done. I think I had part of the R, and I did the rest of the lettering there, did some lettering there, did some there. I was pretty happy with what I got done. So if you see me before, you've heard me mention Happy Little Stitch Shop. I'll link them below. I really enjoy them. I get a lot of my quilting supplies from them, and as well as some of my stitching supplies. Anyway, the other night, so she does like new release parties, usually for quilting fabrics, where she'll go through like new lines that are coming out and stuff. Well, the other night she did one for Nashville for Needlework Market, which was awesome. She went through, and you can go watch this video if you want to. I'll try to link the YouTube channel too. So she went through like room by room, floor by floor, and talked about like which designer or shop or whatever was in which rooms, and for designers that she had like previews of what they were releasing at market. Sorry, words hard. She showed pictures of those, and it's awesome when you do this. So it's like it's live, so you can send in requests, right? Like you can be like, oh, I really like that. Make sure you put up that, and then she'll put things up on her website for like a notify me. So you can go to her website and sign up for the things that you want. You're not actually purchasing them yet, but you like sign up so she knows how many people want what, and that kind of tells her what to buy at market. And anyway, the other night she was doing this new release, which was great because instead of me scrolling on my phone for hours to see what's coming out in market, I got to sit here and stitch and just watch her show what's coming out at market. So that's when I was working on this. This is a 28 count Alma fabric dyed by, hand dyed by Rolanda. She has an Etsy shop. I love her fabric. I got to meet her last year at Stitch North. She sells a lot of one-of-a-kind fabrics, and they're all unique and lovely. So, anyway, I'm working on that, and I hope that's gonna stay out. When I was getting organized here in the last couple of weeks, I made sure to put this somewhere where it's kind of near the top of the pile, and likely to get a little more attention. Another thing I worked on, and I don't have cover photos for all of these. I'm gonna do my best. This is Bella Rose from Nora Corbett. I'm blanking now. Did this come out as a Nora Corbett, or no? It had to have come out as a Nora Corbett. It's basically just a lady like from the neck up, but it's beautiful. So the pattern is a full coverage pattern, although very small. I'm not stitching her full coverage. I chose a mystery linen, a blue mystery linen that I liked. And I'm stitching her. Oh, I just realized there's something else I wanted to show you guys that I didn't pull out. That's okay. I showed it in my last video. I'll show it next time. Anyway, I'm letting the fabric be the background. But I've made some progress on her. I'd like to get her done soon. So if you watched my last video, I said I was going to do this thing this year that started by Lisa, Crossed by Floss. She does Mira Monday stitching, and this year I'm going to work on a Mira until it's done. Like on Mondays, I'm going to pick a Mira, and that's going to be my Monday stitch until that one's done, and then I can move on to another one. And I was kind of trying to decide what to do and which one I would use. I'm actually using Rogue Dragon as that first one. So this is my Mira Monday stitch. This is my focus until I get it done. And then I think I'm probably going to move on to this. It's just been lingering for too long, and I'm going to do it like a small soft finish on it so it doesn't need to like be framed or anything. That one is still in progress. I didn't do much on this, but I know I pulled it out. So this is Cinderella from Mirabilia. It's one of my favorites. I have this old kit of it back when some of the Mirabilias were packaged up as kits. And I love her. She's so pretty. And I'm stitching her on a Picture This Plus is it Gothic or Phantom? I think it's one or the other. I don't remember which. So, sorry, I still have thread on me. You're not going to be able to, oh, actually, that shows it pretty well. So I put in this brown, which is like the outside line of the border framing her. Look, as I'm showing this fabric, look at how yellow I've become. Oh my goodness, camera and video technology is so crazy. So I think I put in these maybe, and I know I started this in some of the greenery that's in the corners of that border there. So this outside brown of the border obviously is very dark against the dark of my fabric, but in person, I think it's reasonably visible. And once, because it's not standing alone, it's part of like a thicker border, I think my border will stand out fine. I'm not worried about that. I've seen her stitched on, and I've got a little bit more down here of the dress, but not much. I've seen Cinderella stitched, oh, and I've got some greenery. I've seen her stitched on a dark fabric before, or a picture of it, and it's just stunning and amazing. So yeah, I decided to do mine dark. In case you're wondering, I'm probably gonna have to mention this every time. So yes, I hand dye my own fabric, and I haven't bought anyone else's fabric since I started dyeing my own. That would seems just kind of silly to me, but especially when I have a huge stash. I have a million whips that are started on other people's fabric, and I love my company and I love my fabric, but I'm a stitcher first, and I'm not going to abandon a bunch of whips or stop showing them just because they're not on my fabric, because I have had questions about that. So I'm just going to mention that. Of course, I'm stitching on things on my fabric, but I'm also stitching on things on other people's fabric, and you're just going to see them all, if that's okay. Okay, back on the bag kick, because I've got another one. I actually had to order more floss, though. So this one's Sheep, My Sheep, again by Shepherd's Bush, and I really like Shepherd's Bush. I had to stop with this one for the time being, just because I ran out of one of the colors, the Concord. So some of the pearl cotton you use is just plain DMC, number 5 pearl cotton, but some of it is Weeks Dye Works. And Concord is one of those, and it's in here a lot. It's the purple, and I actually, like, looking at the skein I had, I don't think I had a full skein. So I don't know if it was left over from another bag that I'd done, or if I somehow ended up without a full skein. I don't know, but I had to order more. So, and there's all the supplies are in there. But that's my start on the sheep bag, and it's purple, and I love purple. And if you've been around here a while, you probably also know that I'm also a knitter and a spinner and a crocheter, and I process fleeces like myself to, you know, wash them and clean them and turn them into yarn, and I love all that stuff. So of course the sheep bag was going to be something I was going to go for. I'm so glad it's on the purple, because I love the purple. So that's a whip. I'm going to show you while I have it out. So I also went down this rabbit hole at one point of their bags, right? And not only do they make the Shepherd's Bush design for those big bags, but you can also get kits for these teeny tiny bags. This one says Forget Me Not, and it's like the perfect size. So it's, and I love the style. I love plain ticking fabric. So it's ticking on the back and on part of the front. It's got just like a binding on the top to seal it, a zipper. It's like the perfect size for like a notions pouch. I love it. And it comes, so their kits usually come with everything you need, and they give you like the amount of floss you need, not, so you don't have to pay for like full skeins, so their kits are really inexpensive. I've never run out of floss on a Shepherd's Bush kit. They've always given me plenty. Comes with a needle and the buttons for it, and then I have the chart in there. So anyway, this is kind of on my short list of things to do when I'm, you know, working on a small, when I'm doing something little. I'm just like tossing things around. Am I talking too fast? I hope not. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. So Lisa and I, Cross by Floss Lisa, she and I get together. Now we took some breaks just because of life and other family things and travel and whatnot. But typically we get together once a week to work on Garden Beauty together from Mirabilia. And I'm not going to pull up a picture of this one either because it's done enough that you get the idea. I am thrilled with how this is going. I've gotten a ton of her dress done. I've moved down. I've been working on the bottom. So there's like a fancy bottom to the frame where there's big flowers in the middle. Sending my needle swinging. It's another Clay by Kim needle minder. So yeah, I've been working on the bottom where there's a bunch of like kind of scroll work or ribbons on the frame. I love her. She is so pretty. You can see I still have some of the confetti areas and the roses to do. She's not very bead heavy. There's beads, but not a lot of them compared to some of her designs. I've got a little bit at the top I still need to do too. But I love how she's coming along. We had hoped to have her done before the 2023 Queen City Stitch Retreat, and it just didn't happen. But she should certainly be done before what will hopefully be the 2025 Queen City Stitch Retreat. So I keep mentioning the retreat. Many of you probably already know we're holding the retreat again in 2024. Our guest artist this year is going to be Aaron Houston. Oh my god, I blanked on his last name for a minute. From Autumn Lane Stitchery. We are super excited about that. I didn't pull, I should have, but I didn't. I didn't pull my Autumn Lane bag to show you guys, but I have been kitting up. So we have 2 stitch-alongs going for the retreat. One is Horrid Old Hag from Autumn Lane Stitchery, which I love, and I'm using my own fabric for it, and I'm like a goober that I didn't bring it down here to show you. I'm using moss, which is one of my fabrics that I dye on a natural linen base, or I can dye it on the natural. There's Ada made of linen. I can dye it on there too. So I'm going to do Horrid Old Hag on that. And the other one is it Lovebirds? It's a heart with birds in it. I hope I have that right. I'm going to, you know what? I can show you the picture. I'm silly. If you can hear people moving around, my husband's going to pick up the kids from school. And here. And I'll try to remember to link this below. So this is one of the stitch-alongs we're doing. What did I have? For the retreat. And the other one is, that one was Lovebirds. Horrid Old Hag. This is the other one. So the like lightest green there is not stitched, it's fabric. So that's why I chose my moss fabric for it. And I'm really excited about it. So those are the 2 stitch-alongs for the retreat. But I also, while I have this here, I also want to start, because I want to start Sakura from Autumn Lane. So Sakura is one of those things that's been for years, actually ever since, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. Musings by Jillian. So Musings by Jillian was one of the first Flosstubes that I started watching, and I loved her. And I think she stopped doing Flosstube around the time that I started watching Flosstube. But I'm hoping she's gonna get back to it at some point. But I recently got to actually meet Jillian, at least over Zoom. That was thrilling for me. I was total goober and fangirling at her. But anyway, she stitched Sakura. And ever since I saw her stitch of it, I was like, oh, I think I want to do that. And I never quite pulled the plug on it. And, well, I'm pulling the plug on it. I've kitted up. I haven't started any of these Autumn Lane patterns, although I have some others started. Like, I'm working on their, I'm on a total tangent now. I hope that's okay. I have done part of their Dark Queen of the Sea, Sal, but anyway. You'll be seeing some of those. I guess I'm like mixing plans in as I'm talking. I'll be working on those some in the coming months. Another thing that I got some work in on is Forest Goddess from Mirabilia. I'm stitching this with Cross by Floss Lisa in Memphis Sarah E. I love her. This is a horrible picture. I think I say this every time. These are like not the colors. What looks like yellow is actually green. She's super, super bright and vibrant in real life. And I do not have very much done on her. She just hasn't been a focus. But I got some progress. I'm working on it. But see, all where that looked like yellow in the picture is actually green. Oh, I haven't even been saying fabrics and stuff. This, I'm pretty sure this is an old Silk Weaver fabric. By old Silk Weaver, I mean before they were under their current ownership. Because that's a dye company that's changed owners. So I hope to work on that more. It's hard to find time to stitch with friends sometimes, but hopefully we'll be able to do that more. Something that I've been trying to give a lot of my attention to is Princess and the Dragon from Teresa Wensler. Please let this be the year. Let this be the year that I finish a Teresa Wensler. Because I've really lately been in the mood for these more complex stitches. I just really have been. I've been really, really enjoying, like, just everything complex. And, like, even though it's so much slower, when you're doing a ton of fractionals and you're really having to count and recount and whatnot, I'm finding it very satisfying here recently. So I've made some progress on this. I don't even know if you can, like, tell. I've been working a lot in the border. I don't know what you're seeing. I don't want to get the center all done and then realize, oh, there's still a lot of border, because this border is a pain in the butt. So in these, like, open spaces, like here, and I think here, there's like a flower that goes in. It's a really simple flower that's mostly beads. So I haven't done that, but other than the flower part, the beads, I think the greenery, so there's 4 sections of border, 1 in each corner, if that makes sense. They're symmetrical that way. So this top left section of border here, from here to here, all the greenery is done. So all I have left to put in is the flower. And I've just been taking a color, like the other day I took a color, I picked, this is inspired by Sarah, Stitch and Mommy. It's like a messed up version of her typewriter method. I basically, like, going across, I picked the first color I came to that needed to have stitches put in, and I spent actually 4 hours. Was it this Tuesday? It was glorious. Just stitching the one color. So in 4 hours, I made it from, like, here, and that finished up everything that needed to be done in this section of border. And I made it down, I think I'm, like, down, I don't know, I'm somewhere on the side with that color. So the next time I pick it up, if I'm going to work on border, which I don't know, I'll decide that day, I'll probably do the same thing. I'll go over here, pick the first color that's missing, and then just keep stitching it, you know, for the rest of that day. It's easier for me to, even though I'm switching threads a lot, because your thread will run out, and I'm working from a kit, so it's all pre-cut lengths. Even though I'm switching threads a lot, it's easier if my brain is, like, clued in on one symbol, and there's so many symbols, is to just continue with that symbol. Like, you know, just in one stitching session at least, stay consistent looking for that same symbol for this border. I mean, there's, like, I don't know, 6 shades of green in there or something. It's a lot. And I think you guys have seen it since then, but I did some more of her Over One Skin. So, still plugging along. Hopefully she'll be done soon. I really want her on my wall. This year, you know, it's the Year of the Dragon, with the Chinese, it was Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon, I don't know what I say, Chinese Zodiac, it's the Year of the Dragon. That's right, that's how I say that, right? It's gonna be like the Year of the Dragon for me if I get this done and I get Rogue Dragon done. That would be amazing. I would love that. I know there's another full coverage I did a bunch of work on, but I don't have it handy, so that's gonna have to wait. One evening when I was just in the mood, I also picked up this, which does not see a lot of attention. This is a still life of roses and strawberries. It just makes me happy. It's just this, especially in February, right? This is when I start to be like, when is spring gonna come? Please, please spring, please show up. I want to go outside again. And I love walking. I walk for exercise, and I do it in the winter, but it's a lot more fun when it's not super cold. And we kind of had a lot of snow. We had a lot of super cold and icy days here when I can't walk. Some of you know I had ankle surgery about 1.5 years ago, and I can't really afford to slip and do anything like to that ankle, right? Like the doctor was pretty clear. There can't be any more rolling of my ankle, spraining of my ankle, anything. So when the trails or roads are icy, I can't really go out and walk. Anyway, one evening I was just feeling like, winter, yuck. I don't think I actually have seasonal affective disorder at all, although I do like deal with depression and plenty of other problems. I just get anxious for spring, right? Like when it's just been cold and dreary out for months, I'm like, I want to be out. So anyway, this is just so bright and sunny and springy to me. So I was in the mood and I pulled it out. You might laugh when you see how little is done. This is on probably antique white Monaco. I'm guessing at the color. It is Monaco, 28 count Monaco. But I'm guessing at the antique white. I'm probably right. It's like a creamy color. And I do really like Monaco, and I am far from a full coverage expert. So I just started in the top left corner. Yeah, not a full coverage expert, but it just, I really like doing it on the Monaco. I'm doing half stitches, 2/1. Golden kites you need to do with 2 strands. Well, you don't need to, but they're blends. They're very blend heavy. I know you can do like bottom leg in one color and top leg in the other color for a blend, but I think most people will do 2 strands. So anyway, it's 2/1. And just, I don't know, bringing it out and seeing the color palette makes me happy. I'm not scared of counting, so yeah, you guys, if you've watched before, you know I count and go like all over the place when I'm stitching. So I'm doing the same thing when I stitch a full coverage. Oh, it's really blowing out. But it's really just greens and browns right now, so I don't know how interesting it is to look at anyway. But it really, I know, like I remember stitching that night. It just like hit the spot that night, right? Like that night, what I needed for my well-being was some springtime vibes and, you know, some sunshine and bright, or not bright colors, but like springy, summery, fun, light colors. And so anyway, that's what I stitched on. I'm gonna go into this whole chatelaine like rabbit hole in a minute. I kind of want to make sure I've shown you everything else first, and there are a couple of things, if I can find them, that I might dig out real quick for you, because I would really like you to see them. I'm like moving, I have like this wheelie cart I'm moving around, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find what I wanted to show you. Let me see real quick. Bear with me. I don't know if it's gonna be in here or not. Oh, yeah, I need to show you this. I just found another one that I need to show you. I need to show you that too. Okay. That's not everything I want to show you, but it's going to be good enough. Maybe? Nope, I'm going to show you this too. Okay. A few more things. I didn't get a lot of work on it, but I want to be working on this a lot more. This is Firefly Fairies. I'm going to have to pull up a picture for you. From lavender and lace. All right, so this is what the chart, the cover image looks like for the chart. And the chart comes with instructions for bleaching your fabric, which by all means you're welcome to do to get that starburst effect. I never wanted to bleach my fabric. If you watched my last Flosstube, you heard the story, so I don't want to bore you to death with it again. But when I started dyeing fabric, I decided to dye a fabric specific for Firefly Fairies. Now this blends a little bit better than it does on camera, but this is a fabric that's really unique. So this one out is my first fabric of the month, although it's available for purchase now on the website. The Lugana version is quite a bit different. It's a lot softer, and it tends to have a like a blue starburst in the middle. But anyway, this is my start on Firefly Fairies, and I did a little bit more work on it since last month, although not much. But this is kind of high in my priority list to get a lot more done. It's been like a dream stitch for many, many years, something that I wanted to do, and that's not going to go in there well. There's going to be so much cleaning up to do later. So I'm excited to be working on that. Something else that I did is I started Farms of Hawkrun Hollow. I'm not going to pull up a picture of it. I'm guessing, because I only have my working copy in my bag. But I'm guessing most of you are familiar with what a Hawkrun Hollow is. So I had stitched one block for my husband's aunt and finished it as a pillow, as a present, and I decided I wanted to stitch the whole thing myself. So I've started with the central block that's actually like a double block. Sometimes in the Hawkrun Hollows they'll have a block that's like 2 blocks wide, and then the rest are like half size. So I've started with that one. I'm stitching it on my own fabric. This is Kiwi in 36 count. I really like stitching in hand 1/2 on 36 count. So, and I started Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow on 28 count 2/2 because that's how I stitch Mirabilias typically. I'm not finishing it. I barely started it. I think for things that are like more primitive, more samplery, I'm a 1/2 person. Doing it in hand is just so much faster. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. This thread over here was just me. I kind of just basted in a thread real quick to make sure that my stitch count was accurate going down. But yeah, not a huge start. I take part in Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. That's her Flosstube channel. She also has a shop called Stitch New England in Massachusetts, which I've never been to because I'm in Pittsburgh. But she does Zooms once a month for Hawkrun Hollow, and anyway, that's typically the only time that I stitch on it. It'll get done one day. No big deal. Oh, well, here, I'll show you a picture. So Nora came out with the Muse. I don't remember off the top of my head if she had already released this the last time I did a video. I don't think she had. Anyway, Mirabilia number 191. Is that right? Yep. Is the Muse. It's so stunning. I love stuff that's like Art Nouveau. It's just beautiful. This is the bead pack. They're stunning. So I was talking with some friends, and well, for one thing, I'm planning on stitching this. This is a fabric called Whisper, dyed by me, Oak Crown Studios. It's a softer transition than it shows on camera there, meaning, so I feel like this happens most of the time. The camera adds contrast to the fabric. It makes it look like blotchier than it is, whereas in real life it blends more. But this is Whisper. This is what I'm going to stitch her on. She fits very easily on a fat quarter. Oh, this is going to be amazing. Anyway, that's what I'm going to stitch her on. And I was talking to Maggie, Kitty Whips, and Jillian, Musings by Jillian, who I'm calling a friend now because I've officially met her over Zoom, and I just a goober and totally curled over her, and I'm claiming her as a friend. We decided to, oh, this is so exciting. So we ordered Victoria Clayton silks to stitch her. So this is going to be my first Mirabilia stitched in all silk. She's got these amazing water lilies that go in her. And then instead of doing the DMC, which is beautiful, and I had actually already kitted up the DMC, but that's okay. They can go back in my stash. Instead of stitching in the DMC, I'm going to use the Victoria Clayton silks. And I'm so excited about that. If you've been around for a while, you've heard me talk about how much I want to stitch a Mirabilia in all silk. And this is going to be the one. And Maggie and Jillian are doing it with me. So I'm very excited. Put all this back together so I don't lose it. Sorry if that's really loud and banging for you guys. So something else that I pulled out here recently, and I think is just on my short list to start. This is my last thing before I start going all out chatelaine. Is this chart from Primrose Needleworks. She called it 272 words. And saying she, I'm assuming the designer for Primrose Needleworks is a woman, and it very well may not be. So my apologies. So this is basically just Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. And I want to stitch it. It's very like not, in some ways it's like not something I would usually stitch, but I feel like it's important. And sometimes I get mad at the state of the world and feel like there's nothing I can do about it. And sometimes it's hard for me to settle down to just like stitch a fancy lady, which is important. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes I'm like amped up or anxious or annoyed or ticked off or whatever, the state of the world. And I was kind of feeling that way the other day. And this had been on my mind. And I decided, you know what, I've had this kitted up for a couple years now. I think I should pull the trigger and get it started. So I dug it out, so it's like ready to go when I want to. I have 35 count lamb's wool linen. This is a huge chart. And I think I have mostly called for, but I have replaced some of the colors, or at least one of the colors. So this is stitched in all like an ochre, like a brownish orange color. What's it called? I guess it's cinnamon from the Gentle Art, probably. Oh, no. This is nutmeg from the Gentle Art. So the chart calls for all Gentle Art threads, and I think I've subbed most of them out. The words are supposed to be done in nutmeg. I'm going to do this 1/2, and I'm actually going to do the words in purple. I'm going to do it in mulberry from Weeks Dye Works. Hopefully I have enough here. I do have a lot of skeins of it. And then there's just a little, like, I picked a green, a blue, there's a white, or like a cream color. So anyway, I've picked colors to do the rest of it. But I think that'll get started. It's like ready to go. There's no reason not to work on it. Okay, you guys ready for chatelaine, deep dive chatelaine? So I started these chatelaine Zooms with Maggie, which is lovely. It's just so amazing to see. And just to be, if you want to participate in our chatelaine Zooms once a month, the best way to tell me that is to send me your email address over on Instagram. If you don't do Instagram, comment here and we'll figure it out. But if you want to participate, send me your email address on Instagram and tell me that you want to be added to the Chatelaine Zoom list. And I'll just add you, and then either the day of or the day before, you'll get an email with a link for the Zoom. Again, it's the first Wednesday of every month from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. So I have a bunch of chatelaine. I've got a bunch of chatelaine stash. I've got a bunch of charts. I've got some kits. I usually order the kits from European Cross Stitch. Sorry, words, distraction, squirrels. I just felt very, like, my chatelaines were kind of disorganized. They were in a bunch of different places, and I do have a list on my phone of, like, what I have kitted and what I don't. It just felt a little bit scattered, and I knew that during the pandemic, again, long before I started my own hand-dyed fabric company, I had bought some really large cuts of standard fabrics for chatelaines, and hadn't like matched up which one was going to go with what. Like, I kind of had just done like, oh, that's a good color, that's a good color. For chatelaines, my personal taste is to go much more like muted and softer, not necessarily light, but like something that isn't a high contrast fabric within itself, like something that isn't super mottled. Anyway, after February Zoom, I pulled everything out. All of the patterns, all of the kits, I got them all spread out on my bed, and I had a glorious day matching up kits and patterns to fabric. It was so much fun. And it kind of continued for a couple of days because there were some kinks to work out and whatnot. I also dyed 2 fabrics. So I decided I really needed to dye some like perfect chatelaine fabrics for my own sake. I did update, probably should have mentioned this earlier, I did update Oak Crown Studios website, oakcrownstudios.com, a couple of days ago. So there's a whole bunch of new colors. Now, I did that in part because I've had a lot of people asking me to. I did a quilting video where I kind of teased a whole bunch of new colors. So I put the colors up, but so far the only picture for some of those colors is on quilting fabric, which is a very good equivalent to Aida, and actually a pretty good equivalent to linen as well. But it would dye a lot lighter on Lugana. So I wanted to put that stuff up for people who I know are waiting for it and want to order it and don't feel like they need to wait for an exact picture. But anyway, so there was a huge update. I want to show you before I start. I'm so excited about these. So there's 2 fabrics that I dyed to be specific for chatelaines. The first one, I don't know if I'm going to get the color to come across well. And I didn't bother serging it because it was for me. This is going to be cut up for me, just to be clear. So my fabrics are always serged when I send them out. But, you know, that's for me. So this one I am just calling mandala because as far as I'm concerned, you could stitch just about any of the mandalas on this fabric. I think it's perfect. It's just like a very soft, medium tone blue. It's not, I feel like it would work with anything. If you were doing like one of the oceany ones, it would fit that. It like kind of fills in as like an ocean background or a sky background. Be great for a garden, like almost anything I would stitch on this. Oh my God, I would stitch. I feel like this is just a really good universal fabric, which is what I was trying to do. I was trying to dye a only slightly mottled, I'm sorry, look at how bad it's blowing it out. I was trying to dye just a very slightly mottled, very light fabric, and I got it. I was so excited it turned out so well. This is on linen. Again, it would look much the same on Aida and even lighter on Lugana. But I'll get those dyed and pictures up as soon as I'm able. So that one's called Mandala. And then this other one, you'll see I'm so clever. I called it Garden. I called one mandala and one garden. I was feeling very clever that day. So this is a green. Now, again, the camera is making it look blotchier than it looks in real life. Like these models are there in real life, but there's not so much contrast between them and the rest of the fabric. I love this so much. It's just really soft tones of green with like the occasional, like almost like a little bit of blue poking through. But like blue-ish, not like a blob of blue. You know what I mean? There's some there. I love it. I love how it turned out. And I still need to decide, because I have a couple of kits that I haven't matched up to fabrics yet. At least one of these is going to be used for mushroom and fern. And I need to decide which one. And I haven't yet. But anyway, these are the two new fabrics I'm most excited about. Yay! Buy them or not, that's up to you. I'm not trying to just sell you things. I'm so self-conscious about like having a business now, because none of you need to buy anything from me to like be my friend and hang out here. I'm probably just making this more awkward the more I talk about it. Sorry. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Oh, I'll show you the big one first. So I got some of my mojo back on Egypt Mandala Garden. Let me show you what this one looks like. And I'm going to have to pull up pictures for a lot of these because my hard copies of the patterns are upstairs. So this is Egypt Mandala Garden. Can't really see what you're seeing. What it looks like when it's finished. I'm nowhere near finished, but I'm really happy with the progress I made. I feel like I got kind of bogged down working on the center, and it was just feeling very tedious. And so I let myself kind of move over and start working here and like doing this part and this up here. And my motivation just came like, oh, and all this here. My motivation came like flying back in. Just so excited to be working on this again. So I work on Chatelaines every Wednesday, and if I'm trying to put this back where it goes, if I have the time to actually get out my floor stand and put that, because that like takes up so much room. If I have like a good chunk of time to stitch, I will bring that out. If I don't, then I work on my pineapple. I don't have a good picture of this, but it looks a lot better than it did last time you saw it, so you'll be able to get the idea. So she has, I think, 3 patterns that are of like small fruits. There's also an apple that I really want to do. I can't remember what the other one is. But this is the pineapple. And it's just this elaborate border. There's a bunch of silks in here. There's beads that are going to go in here. I started some of the specialty stitches. The pineapple is so heavy in specialty stitches. And then there's like some, oh my God, there's a bunch of like random like quarter stitches. And I finally was like, I'm just going to do I need to do the specialty stitches just to like get out of counting hell. Because it was just so complex figuring out where everything went. But this has been a really, really fun stitch. I am enjoying having something small that's easy to pull out to work on when taking out the Egypt one. It just doesn't seem doable, right? Because I'm just too busy that day or whatever. I'm stitching this on 30 count Mariner's Map Legacy Linen. Really enjoying it. I actually need to pull a few more DMC colors from my stash. I worked on it this week. Okay, I'm gonna make like a huge mess. Okay, so I also ordered a bunch of new project bags, so that, which I'll show you real quick, to, I'm gonna blank on what oh no, it says on here. Oh, it says PT Bags. I mean, it's a company that made it. Pansy something. If I remember, I'll link their Etsy shop below, because I like their bags and they should be able to take credit for it. I ordered a bunch of new bags because I need places to put my chatelaines. Now that I'm like kind of getting, because I want to start a ton of chatelaines this year. So I ordered some new bags. There's this one and this one. I mean, how could I not, right? That's perfect. And then Kathy's Posies is one of my favorite bag makers. And so I ordered several from her. Look at this. This one's so sweet. And this is a Tilda fabric. I love Tilda fabrics. Hopefully I'm going to have a quilting video coming soon too. I just love her bags. They're all different. Every one is different. I think they're fantastic. So in, this still is not as organized as I'd like it to be. In the spirit of starting a whole bunch of chatelaines this year, I started the Greek mandala last week. This is only as far as I got. I need to pull these up for you so you can see them. I will try to do it quickly. If my iPad cooperates. There we go. Greek mandala. Okay, not the best picture. Pictures never are, right? This is the Greek mandala. So I only got it, like the center started a little bit. But it made me so happy. I've got another chatelaine started. I still plan on making the Egypt one my focus until it's done. Well, that and the pineapple. But I have the full kit from, this needs to go in a bag. I have the full kit. I'm going to take this out of Q-Snap now and talk to you. I have the full kit from European Cross Stitch. So I have everything I need. And I don't know if I've pulled all the DMC. I know I haven't pulled all the DMCs for all of the chatelaines that I have. But I have a very healthy chatelaine stash, DMC stash. So I'm not at all worried that, you know, I don't have the DMCs. I might end up just kind of pulling them as I need them. Which bag should this one go in? The Greek one. What do you guys think? As if you're going to tell me in real time. I'm going to put it in this one. So my husband is a philosophy professor. I'm explaining why I chose this bag with the books. My husband's a philosophy professor, and he and I visited Greece when he was giving a lecture, like presenting a paper at a conference in Athens. And we spent like 8 days in Athens. And we took some day trips to do some other things. But it was wonderful. I really enjoyed, I've done this sort of traveling where you like visit a different city every day, and that's wonderful too. But I really appreciated spending significant time in one city and feeling like I got to kind of understand that city and the vibe of that city and really get to know that city pretty well. We went to like the Oracle at Delphi and that kind of thing too. But anyway, husband, philosopher, education, books, Greek mandala gardens going in this one. Did anyone follow that? Makes sense to me. I'm not even going to know what all of these are in, or what's in each of these. What's this one? This is Baroque Garden. Yes. Okay. I have to show you this picture. So this came up during one of our Zooms. And if I have to stop here at some point, I might end up doing this in two parts if my kids come home and make a bunch of noise. Oh, I should have just pulled it up this way. All right, this, nope, that's not what I was going for. Here we go. This is somebody else's completion of Baroque Gardens from the Chatelaine Gallery. Like, what? It's beautiful. This thing's like 4 feet long or something. It's so beautiful. I saw this and like lost my mind. And you can get, I'll try to link it too, but you can get all these patterns at the Chatelaine website. They're all PDFs. This has to happen. in my lifetime. I just fell for it. So I have the chart, although it's a PDF, so I can't show you the chart. But I've gotten the DMC for it. I need to work on all the specialty flosses. I got the beads. The bead kits are usually pretty reasonable price. If you go to European Cross Stitch and you're looking at like their kitted up stuff, the prices are insane. Just not like just because of everything you're getting. Like the materials used in Chatelaines are just crazy. Like there's so many silks, there's so much beautiful stuff, and so many beads. But oftentimes the bead pack is like the least expensive bit. So anyway, I went ahead and got the bead pack for it. All right, so this is what it looks like when you get a kit from European Cross Stitch. So this is a full kit. So this has everything except the DMC in it. Look, it's got like the petite lame braid, petite treasure braid, all these silks. This has the bead pack in it. Isn't it beautiful? So this is what I think I'm gonna do this on mandala, because there's a lot of greens. Green flosses. And there's blue flosses too, but I think it's gonna show off best on mandala. Anyway, I'm gonna have to cut that for it later. But I have the full kit and I also have the pattern. I don't know that I don't think I photocopied all of, no I didn't. I didn't photocopy all of my charts to get a working copy of, but I tried to do it for those that were like in project bags or I'd cut the fabric for. So I'll show you. But anyway, this I think I'm gonna put with mandala. There's so much stuff. Which one's this? Medieval Cloister or Hilarious? These are so crazy. What else do I have? Chatelaine. Full Cloister. Herbilaria. Okay. This is another one that I have kitted up. Medieval Cloister Herbilarius. I love it. And this I also, it looks like, have not decided on a fabric for. I might end up using mandala for this one too, because there's so many greens in it. What do you guys think? If you have an opinion, tell me below. But I'm either going to use garden or mandala. One of these, the blue or the green. And I think I'm going to go with the blue. I think it'll look really good with the blues that are in that central portion. So anyway, I need to put this in a project bag because the plastic bag isn't cutting it. Which one should this go in? Oh, well that's easy. It should go in this one, right? Herb garden, sunflowers, bees. That's easy. So I have my working copy of the pattern. Some chatelaines I have as PDFs and some I have as hard copies. So this is what European Cross Stitch sends you if you actually open the package. She uses floss away bags, and look at all those silks. They're so beautiful. And the petite treasure braid, and then you supply your own DMC. And I've also got the bead pack. And she includes beading needle, everything. So I'm gonna have to cut that. So it's a full yard of this mandala fabric that I dyed. So I'll have to check. Some chatelaines will fit on like 27 inches, so like I could cut it in half. Some don't, so I will have to do the math to double check. But and of course I can dye more fabric. But I think those both might end up going on mandala. How, like, I don't even, there's like not room here. I have, well, I'm not even gonna go into that today. Okay. see what this one is. Also needs a project bag. Oh, Victorian Garden. I love Victorian Garden, and I ordered my kit for this and got it like right away. I was very impressed. So that's what the Victorian Garden looks like, and this is also one of the less expensive. So some of the chatelaines are insanely expensive. You can make them cheaper by using the DMC substitutes and not all the silks, but some of them aren't that expensive. So if you're interested, but cost is a factor, I would definitely suggest you like poke around on their site some, because you might be pleasantly surprised. This is one of my favorite chatelaines, probably because of the color palette. I love like teal blues and greens, and there's a lot of that in there. Look at this. Oh, don't glare. It's so pretty. What is that? Teal green from Northern Lights. But Northern Lights is made by who? I don't remember. I feel like I know. And I don't have my reading glasses on. Anyway. That's the floss pack. Here's the beads. I got my, I spent an entire evening photocopying my charts. So this isn't the original that I've made look like this. And I'm stitching it on. Did I include? Oh, where's the tag? It has to say somewhere. I have this like, it's like just slightly gray. I'm gonna be so mad at myself if I didn't like write down. I know I was doing it, what the fabrics were all called, but I also know I easily could have forgotten one. Okay, I'm not sure what this fabric is called, but it's a standard linen, it's a 32 count, and it's just got like a slight grayish tone to it, and I think it's gonna play really well with those fabrics. I'm getting organized as I do Flosstube. Which bag should this one go in? And these ladies are not Victorian, but how about this one? It feels right to me. It feels like it works. I don't even have enough bags for all of these. I have this one huge bag with a bunch of project bags inside of it. All right, which one's this? Fairy Flower Garden. I'll pull it up for you. Sorry, this is slow. I know there's lots of you out there that don't care that you love my really long videos, but I feel driven to say I'm sorry anyway. So this is what Fairy Flower Garden looks like. This I bought years ago. This might have even been the first chatelaine I bought. I was like, fairies, yes, count me in. Oh, you know what? Okay, so that last fabric I showed you for the Victorian one, it's the other part of this. This is Silver Moon Belfast linen. I'm using the other part of it for the Fairy Flower Garden. So I've got the bead pack and the flosses from European Cross Stitch, and I've got my fabric. Oh. So which one should this go in? I'm going to put it in this one. My little Red Riding Hood bag. And I'm going to keep this bag with it for now until I can write down which fabric that is, so I don't forget. I don't know if any of you are keeping count about how many chatelaines I have kitted up. If you are, let me know. I'm not keeping count. Tinctorium. So this next one is Tinctorium, which is a dyer's garden, which I hope to have my own dyer's garden one day. Some of you know I love not just the dyeing that I do, but I love natural dyeing too. Like I have indigo fabrics up on my website. Friendly PSA about those. I've reached out to some people individually, and it says this on the website, but I know we don't always read everything and we don't always remember what we read. It needs to be warm enough out for me to dye indigo. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks it will be, but I do that outside, so I can't do it when it's freezing. That didn't show up. Did I spell that wrong? Let me see. I didn't spell it wrong. Maybe I just need another word. Why isn't it showing it? Oh, there we go. I found one. All right, 1, 2, 3 Stitch has it. So this is the Tinctorium. And it's very colorful. It's one of those, she has several like this, like the Herb Garden, the Dyer's Garden, the Pomerium, the Rosarium, where it shows and usually labels actual plants. This is gonna go in here. Actual plants that like fit the theme. This I have what I think is just white orient. Oh, you know, and this came, I can tell from the serging. So you can also buy your fabric from European Cross Stitch, and this must be a kit that I did that with. So that's just white, I think, linen, which is totally fine. And I've got all the specialty stuff and the beads. Look at that, like, oh my gosh. I can't wait to bead my first chatelaine. I love beading. Oh, to bead my first chatelaine is just gonna be amazing. But this one needs to happen because of my dyeing. I don't want to knock that. There's so many bags on the floor right here, and I don't want to knock my tripod and send you guys like flying. Am I out of bags? I'm out of bags. All right, which one is this? Oh, Nymph Garden. I love this one so much. And I'm not going to go through all of the, I have other chatelaines that are on order, like the kits. I'm not going to go through all of them today. I'm not as organized as I got. I don't feel like I'm organized enough for that. All right, so this is what the Nymph Garden looks like. And it's just so beautiful. Things are falling. This I have, it looks like a standard, like light blue Belfast Sea-Fi. This is one I have a digital copy of. This is ice blue casual linen. And so I have the PDF of this chart, so I don't have the hard copy. I've got all of the fibers, specialty fibers. Again, I need to pull a DMC. And all the beads. Oh my god, they're so pretty. Look at that. I'm sorry about the glare. They're just so beautiful. In this one, so some of the chatelaines I pick because of like the place is meaningful to me, like the Greek one, although I think it's beautiful too. Some of them I pick purely because of how they look, and Nymph Garden was one of those. Look at this floss. What? It's called Tulip Festival. What is this? Which one is this? It's a Gloriana. Tulip Festival. Wow. That's so beautiful. Holy moly. Holy moly. So I'm at least one project bag short. That's okay. I have other project bags. I make project bags. I'll sort that out eventually. Oh, this one went in here because it's Sleeping Beauty mandala. I think this one might also be on the ice blue. Are you okay, Freya? This is also ice blue. You're just stuck, dog. You like can't get down. You're there now for forever. And I have the full kit from European Cross Stitch. Most of these have been sitting in my stash for a long time, and it's just ridiculous, and they need to get stitched on. I don't know exactly which ones I'm going to start this year, but this is definitely high on the list. One I know I'm going to start this year is the Hawaiian one. We went to Hawaii a couple of years ago. It was kind of a big deal for my family. Looking forward to that trip is kind of part of what got us through the pandemic. Oh, if you're going to hear noise now, that's my kids coming home. So we'll see how this goes. I might have to pause. This is what the Hawaiian mandala looks like when it's finished. My husband might have asked them to be quiet, and then I might be able to keep filming. We'll see. So this is on, let's see if I wrote it down. I hope I did. Smoky white casual linen. So this is a printed linen that I felt like would give a little bit of the sand effect in the background. Hey, Logan. Without overpowering the mandala design. And my husband actually bought this kit for me as a birthday present a couple years ago. I don't need it in the plastic anymore. What did I drop? Oh my gosh, look at that. The bright reds and oranges. Hi, Madison. Yes. And there's all the fibers. So this one's definitely getting started, without a doubt, this year. I put it in the turtles bag. Oh, I don't remember what's in each of these because there's so many of them. I'm almost done, I promise. All right, this one is Evening in the Park. This one's so pretty. There. There's Evening in the Park. The lanterns. There's lanterns in it. Martina designed the best lanterns. I'm kind of obsessed with them. It's ridiculous. But I have all the specialty stuff. This one was I think wasn't very expensive. I might be misremembering, but I don't think it was. And I've got the beads. And I don't need all this plastic. You guys should see the floor around me right now. So this is something that was hand-dyed by me. Again, it's making it look a little bit blotchier than it is. This is what I'm going to stitch it on. This is a fabric that is going to be available probably the end of April on my website. It's not there yet. It's part of it's just secret for right now. Why I'm not able to tell you the name. So, but this is what I'm going to stitch it on. And it's the right size and everything. I'm glad this is almost done because people are home now. I do need to clean up. So this is the Irish mandala garden. Barely started. I did stitch in my little arrows so I would know which way was up. I started this, you know what, I'll work on it again this year on St. Patrick's Day. Can you see? There's not much to see. I started this last year on St. Patrick's Day. And I think at the time I did not have the kit yet, so I had to start with DMC. So I started stitching with DMC, but have since gotten the kit. I got the whole thing. So there's all the fibers. Look at how beautiful that petite treasure braid is. It's got all the fibers and all the beads. So all the greens. So anyway, yeah, I'll work on it again this year on March 17th. Because that's kind of a fun thing to do. And this is the last one I have to show you. This is, did I write down the color of the fabric? Oh, this one is definitely getting started this year. This is 32 count blue gray linen. And this is the Japanese moss garden. I almost knocked that off. This is, like, visually probably my all-time favorite chatelaine. There's a Japanese garden and there's a Japanese moss garden, both of which are beautiful, but the moss garden is my all-time favorite. It's so, so stunning. That's what it looks like. And there's these adorable little Buddha statues that I love all around the garden, but I think it comes with a option for stitching like bonsai trees instead. But I'll do the Buddha statues. But there's all my floss. And there's beads in here somewhere too. Oh, beads are so good. They're the best part. Beads. I can't wait to get that one started. I might even start it next week. Okay, so in terms of chatelaines, I can tell you that the next time I order a chatelaine kit, it's going to be Scotland. I also have the pattern for Scotland, and I really want that to be one that I get done in my lifetime, and I don't have the kit for it. So that's highest on my list. I do have several other patterns that I don't have the kits for. So hopefully Scotland Mandala will be ordered. Hopefully. At some point. Before too long. I think Scotland, Sleeping Beauty, Hawaii, and the Japanese Moss Garden are really high on my list of things to stitch to start this year. I also have another one. I'll show that another time. They're not all here. I have one I'm doing in DMCs. The Oriental Harem Garden, I think it's called. I decided to stitch in all DMCs. So I would really like to have a travel chatelaine. Which to me means washable. And there's just too many fibers that run way too much in these things to be able to wash them. But it's not a great picture at all. It's not very focused. But that's what the Oriental Harem Garden looks like. I've decided to kit this one up in DMCs and stitch it with all DMC, so it'll be washable. And that's going to become my like travel chatelaine project. But anyway, that's it. That's the bulk of my chatelaine stash. I'm glad it's all out now because I need to cut these up for, I think I'm going to do this one probably for the Oriental Harem Garden. We'll see. Anyway, I wish you guys could see like what the floor around me. It's bad. Anyway, I think that's it. I've got a lot of cleanup to do. I've got a lot of stitching to do. I'm so glad I did this video because just like the Zooms are inspiring, doing this is inspiring to me. To like sit down and get it all out and share it and show it and tell you guys kind of what my thoughts are and what my plans are. And you know my plans like go sideways in an instant, but still it's lovely to share it all and to share my excitement because I know you guys get it. I'm not making any promises about when I'll be back, but hopefully it'll be before too long. And I hope in the meantime you guys enjoy your stitching or other crafting or whatever you're into. The next time I film, it'll probably be a quilting video. My dog is back. The next time, I was watching her try to figure out how to get up here. The next time I film, it'll probably be a quilting video because there's a lot that's been going on in that end too. Anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you coming to visit me and sticking with me, even with my very intermittent videos. I hope you're enjoying all of your crafty time, and hopefully I'll be back here soon. Bye.